speaking about the 7 factors of awakening, and the fourth factor, delight or rapture. And Buddha thought this was or experienced for himself, this is a natural part of the spiritual path. It doesn't necessarily happen right away, and maybe takes some practice, but the mind is, as you liberate the mind, as you cultivate wisdom, as you practice meditation, um, rapture can be experienced, and I've had that experience. I had very strong experience of that on the last retreat I was on. Once again, all these factors are cultivated. You're working with them. It's a practice. It's not just. It's not enough to intellectually understand it. The fifth factor, tranquility, and you can see the balance between energy and tranquility. So you need both. You need to arouse energy for the practice and for investigating the qualities, and you also need to. Obviously, there's meditation is often associated with tranquility or peace, and so you need to have a balance in this dualistic world. You need to find that balance between things such as energy and tranquility. And if they're unbalanced, they can make your practice difficult. If you're too tranquil and you're just nodding off, or if you're too energetic and you're just restless and not able to focus, you could see how that would impact any activity really, but especially a spiritual practice. And I'm just going to keep saying it again and again because we think intellectually when we understand something, when we intellectually understand it, when we're conceptually familiar with the idea, we think we know, but this is a much deeper knowing, and it's necessary to have both. You can't just have the intellectual understanding. The intellectual understanding is very important, and you need it at the beginning to have some. It's like a map when you're going on a trip. You need the map to help chart the journey, but it's not enough to look at the map. You have to take the journey too. So the sixth factor, concentration, and this again it comes up on the Noble Eightfold Path. There's some overlap. The Buddhist time was a time of oral tradition. There wasn't. They didn't have books. There wasn't the written word. Everything was transmitted via memory through oral recitation. So you get some overlap and you get some lists to help facilitate memory. So concentration is part of the Noble Eightfold Path, and it's one of the factors of awakening. And obviously this is another big thing associated with meditation. Some people think it's just about blanking out your mind or something, which is that's not meditation. That's like if you have a lobotomy or something, or if you get really drunk. That's going in the opposite direction of meditation. But then meditation isn't about conceptual thought either. So concentration obviously is an important skill or important ability for anybody to do anything. You need to be able to, for the spiritual path, you need to focus and you need to be able to concentrate. You can see why this would be one of the 7 factors of awakening. And the 7th is equanimity, which is a word that before I got into Buddhism I wasn't familiar with, and it's not a word that's generally used in our language. Equanimity has to do with an evenness of mind, or a balance, or an equilibrium, not being easily shaken. They talk about sitting like a mountain, and that's to have equanimity. No matter what comes up, you don't let that affect you. You don't let that throw you off. So equanimity is very important. We live in an uncertain world, and there's a certain inherent insecurity. I mean, with mortality, there has to be. With impermanence, there has to be. Everything's unreliable. You can't rely upon it. You can't rely upon it for happiness. It's unstable. It arises and it falls away. So equanimity is really important, to have that balance of mind, to be able to accept reality. Obviously a very important quality for awakening. To liberate the mind, you have to have the equanimity. And I think that's it for now.